Now this question says Tanya went to Italy. She changed 325 pounds into euros. The exchange rate was £1 for 1.68 euros. Change 325 pounds into euros. And then the second question that came with it says when she came home she changed 107 pounds into euros. The new exchange rate was £1 equal to 1.50 euros. Change 117 euros into pounds. Now for this kind of question, currency conversion question, you use the mentality of proportion. Okay, now when solving proportion question, there's something you need to know. For the value we're looking for, okay, we'll make sure that it's always on the right hand side. Okay, that's the value we are looking for. Right hand side, and the value we are given, or the value we are working with, will have to be on the left hand side. Now the second rule you need to know about this currency conversion question, which also applies to proportion, is that when you're converting from a higher value to a lower value, you divide. But when you're converting from a lower value to a higher value, you multiply. Okay, if higher, you multiply, and if lower, you divide. Now all these things I've listed out, I'm going to show them or explain them further while solving this question. Now let's take the first one again. We're told that Tanya went to Italy. She changed 325 pounds into euros. Okay, the exchange rate was £1 equal to 1.68 euros. Okay, this brings us to another rule again. For the value on the left hand side, we always have to bring it down to a unit value. Okay, for the value that we're given, we always have to ensure that we reduce it to a unit quantity before we carry out any other operation. Now these three basic things are what you have to be bearing in mind when we're solving proportion question, whether it comes in form of currency questions or any other format. Now let's use this and now solve the question. We were told that she changed 325 pounds. Okay, this is the question. She changed 325 pounds into euros. Okay, and the exchange rate was for £1. You exchange for 1.68 euros. That £1 is equivalent to 1.68 euros. That's £1 equal to 1.68 euros. Okay, now for the third rule says that you have to ensure that the given quantity is reduced to a unit value first. From here now, we've seen that our given quantity, that's pounds, that's the given quantity means the quantity you're converting from into another quantity, and in this question now it's pounds. We've seen that it's in its unit value. Its unit value means 1. Okay, they've given us the value for £1. Okay, so you don't need to go further on this now. Now for £1 you have 1.68 euros. Then for 325 pounds we're going to have 1 point. Now okay, this other rule, second rule that we had, was if higher we multiply, if lower we divide. Now we've seen that for £1 it's going to give us 1.68 €. Now for £325, £325 is higher than £1, so it's going to be 1.68 divided by this one, then times this higher one. Now £325. Okay, we're multiplying out because the value is higher, so if higher we multiply. And then for the first rule that we gave before, the value we're looking for is euros, that's why it's on the right hand side. Okay, now the value that we're given is in pounds, that's why it's on the left hand side. Now if you work with these three rules, rather you work together with all of them, you always have the right answer. Now using our calculator to do that, you have 1.68 times 325, and it's going to give you 546 euros. That's it for that question. Now let's try it for the second question too. We are told that when she came home, she changed 107 euros into pounds. Okay, and we're told that the new exchange rate at home was for £1 equal to 1.50 euros. Okay, now the answer is change 117 euros into pounds. Now we're looking for a value in pounds, so pounds has to be on the right hand side, and the value we're given is in euros, so euros has to be on the left hand side, and that's the first row. Now doing that, you have 1.50 euros equal to £1. Now our second rule is that the value on the left hand side, now this has to be, we have to find the unit value for it. You know, this 1.50 is no longer a unit value. If it was 1, it would have been a unit value. Now to get the unit value of this is €1. So €1, since €1 now is less than this, you will have a division here, 1 over 1.50 times 1. Okay, and now for 117 euros, it's going to be 1 over 115. Okay, or 1 over 1.5, rather 1 over 1.50 times 117 over 1. Remember, the first one we did was for a unit value, that's for one value, we divided 1 over 1.50. Okay, now because 117 that we're looking for is higher, that's why we multiplied. Now, and you even see from here that 117 is now dividing 1.50, so it's obeying that second rule of if you're looking for a higher value, you multiply. That's this 117. Now let's solve this out. 117 divided by 1.50 is going to give you 78 pounds. So that's it for this question. So basically we have to put these three rules in mind. Okay, that the value we're looking for has to be on the right hand side, and the value we're given will be on the left hand side. Then if higher, we multiply, if lower, we divide. Then for every value that is given, we have to find a unit quantity first, a unit equivalence, before we now solve out the main quantity given to us. That's it for currency conversion question.